It's another edition of Love Me Tender.
Never going to get used to that.
We're never getting over it. But there's obviously a lot going on around the Stanley Cup playoffs in the world of goaltending. But I don't think, well, what'd you say? We said that Bobrovsky save was probably the save of the playoffs. And you were like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, this is one of the best saves ever. Like, I'm sorry. I don't care if it's playoffs. I don't care if it's preseason. But not only the fact it was playoffs and the game was tied 2-2 and they happen to go on and win 3-2. This is just unbelievable by Bobrovsky. You don't need me to tell you that. But his awareness to get his body turned right here, he knows it's the only way he can get across at that angle is to go backwards. And he has the awareness, not only the awareness, the athletic ability to get his arm up in the air, somehow not dislocate his shoulder. I'm not entirely sure how his arm is still attached to his body. Look at the way he lands here. But just unbelievable.
You know, in the NBA, they say, what, posterized? Well, this has now been T-shirtized because it's the Bobbery. They've already made the shirt. Rupper, I think you've got.
I think both of us need one.
I swear to you, during break, I put it in the cart. I just haven't done it yet. So yeah, I'm all over that shirt.
I might grab one too. Make it two.
Yeah, let's go two.
Yeah,
we'll go
double
two.
X.
You want one too?
I want one. Let's do it. Yes.
So, yeah, I mean,
a full line.
that is a save, and I mean, like you said, it doesn't get any better than that.
No.
It was huge.
Yeah,
I mean, you can watch it all day. We're going to do it. You want to look at another angle of it? Because
let's
got
take
a little
all the
contraction
angles.
here, and we can go another angle. So we're going to pull it up here, and we're going to go look at the look for Matt Dumba. I'm sorry, Dums. I hate to do this.
I know.
You know Dums as well, too.
Dum's a good friend.
Yeah, this is what happens.
Don't want it to happen to somebody like that.
No,
it's got to happen to somebody.
We're going to take a look here, and this is going to be at the one end. There you go. This is the moment before greatness. We're going to watch it kind of happen here. The play's going to come down into the zone, and you're going to see this thing kind of just happen. And I love this, and I'll just watch it through for a second. You're going to watch right there, but oh my gosh, can we, I'm just going to bring it back a little bit. Look at right here. We're going to zoom in. That's crazy, man.
It's outrageous.
You know what I mean? And here's the thing, like, Dums didn't dust it off. Like, he didn't come in here and just give a weak backhand. Like, that puck is, you know, it's
elevated.
That puck's elevated right in that area. He got it where he wanted, got it off really quickly, and, you know, when we bring it back, and you show right here, like, that's a goal.
Yep.
That's like, I almost say to myself, like, oh man, what if it's a lefty? I almost think he got it back to the net just as quickly as the lefty. Maybe the lefty's able to pick a higher trajectory of the puck, but I mean, what a perfect play the way Bob got spread out like that.
If you can run this back as well. So the reason, when he comes across here, the reason this ends up having to happen is watch, slow it down as he slides here. Now normally, so you can stop here for 1 sec. Normally, a goalie's going to want to slide and get their skate on the post, which is going to keep his body in more control. And he's one of the best on the planet as well with his body control when his skates are on the post. Well, what happens is he sees this puck here. He kind of, I wouldn't say panics, but he gets into desperation save mode here, which makes his skate, he misses the post with his skate because he thinks he's going to have to go here. Now stop here. That spins his body around. Now here's the crazy wherewithal of him and his athletic ability. So he not only he does this, he sees where the puck goes. In this short amount of time, he realizes he's able to process in his head that he needs to pick up his right foot and turn and get his angle that way. I mean, a lot of guys are just gonna roll, like try to lay out, but for him to be able to this quickly think this and know this and then athletically be able to do this is just
it's insane. And I just want to point out it's Bobbery. Bobbery is right. I want to point out another thing here though, and I don't know if you could just maybe you could see it a little bit here, but I mean just the fan reaction too. Everyone's sitting down here, they think it's a goal. Then you see all around this horseshoe on the outside, people jumping off towel. They're like, oh my, you see hands on their heads. But not, you know, just doesn't stop there. Doobie, what is it like as a goalie? Like, you know, like I've scored a goal in the NHL, so a big playoff goal at different moments. Like that's cool and all. You get people on their feet, but what's it feel like when everyone gets the ooh when that happens?
I mean, it's unreal. Sometimes you got to calm yourself down a little bit because, like, I don't even know if Bob knew how good that was because obviously he's a little bit blind when he turns around and throws the arm out. But I'm sure when he watched it back,
Look at this angle.
It's Yeah, you get excited. There's no possible way, and I don't know how Bob is in that, but there is no way to not have the adrenaline going and be excited when you you realize what you just did, one of the best saves of all time, and then you get the fan reaction.
I want to show another reaction, though, because you're going to watch. You see the play happening right here, right? So there's the kind of missed shot that goes. Dumba's jumping in. I'm going to zoom in here. Sorry to do this to you guys.
Oh, no.
But everybody's sitting down right here on the Tampa bench, like where you're watching this happen. You see an opportunity. You see your player with a wide open, yawning cage, and just watch them all get to their feet right here. And then it's just, you got hands on their heads. People are here. Oh, no.
Oh,
like, everyone just got up, and it's just, that's a game changer right there. Bobbery. Sergei Bobrovsky.
I mean, how deflating is that if you're Tampa? I mean, they stuck in there, and it was an unbelievable rest of the game. But you're thinking, how?
Yeah.
How?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was
awesome stuff. Well, that was very good, very in-depth, because, again, it was one of the greatest saves of all time. So we had to do a little deeper dive. But that's not all that's caught your eye so far this playoffs. How about Georgiev, especially the way he bounced back after the last, not only the first game of this series, right, but the last, what, month? How long have we been talking about goaltending being a problem in Colorado? A while.
Yeah. A little while, yeah.
And that's so important.
Let's give him his flowers now.
So important for him. He needed it. I mean, this team could lift the cup, like you said, and it's going to be helping out Georgiev more than they have, and getting him that confidence back, because he is able to play at a very high level. But that was what was scary, is it wasn't, he didn't just have a struggling game one. He's been struggling for a while.
Right.
And so, that's where it gets concerning, and you just need something like this, because he's not going to forget how to stop the puck. So he just needs to get that. I talked yesterday about his lack of confidence, where you could see it, where he's kind of jumping at pucks off the stick, and that's what happens when you lose confidence. Instead of being patient and reading it and then making the save, he's kind of jumping out. He's guessing a little bit, and that's the lack of confidence. And you didn't see that. You saw a lot of saves there where he was patient. He's making good glove saves, a huge blocker save in the third period there with Ehlers all alone, and that was a confident game for him. And hopefully he can continue that for Colorado. But sometimes you just need that one, and remember what it feels like to be comfortable and letting the guys come at you. You look like that last game.
Well, how do you navigate that as a goaltender? Because again, your head coach has brought your name up twice in the last 10 days. Everybody's saying this team is poised to win a cup. The weakest link is their goaltending. And these things probably aren't fair, because they haven't been defending well as a team too, but he has not been to the level he can be and he's capable of. But to start this game, so you're trying to block that out. New game, I'm a goalie, I'm getting out there. 3 minutes in, it's 1-0. Like, how do you pick yourself up? Like, what's going through your mind to keep that going? Then you tie it up, and then they score again to make it 2-1, and then he kind of even got better as the night went on.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard, and I've said this before, in that goaltending is a reactive position. It's one of the only positions in sports that's purely reactive. And one of the hardest things to do when you're struggling, and you've been struggling for a long time, is to go out there and let the game come to you. It's very, very difficult. And because you can't go out there and stop 50 pucks if you only get 10 shots.
Yeah.
And you want to, especially when you're struggling. The only thing you want to do is go out. You want to go out there and do it for your teammates and make, I want to go out there and make 60 saves and win the game for them. But you can't. You can only stop. You can only do what is presented to you.
Right.
And that goal, he had no chance on the first goal. No chance on the Scheifele tip either, the one-handed tip at all. But it just becomes more and more of a challenge to tell yourself that. And just make sure you're being patient, letting it come to you, not jumping at it.
Do you tell yourself literally in your head? I know every goalie is different, but Devan Dubnyk is a goalie. When something like that happens, be like, do you tell yourself something? In your head, are you like, all right, we're good? Like, I'm so curious, because you're inside this. We all see this. We see big equipment. We see a mask. We lose the sight of the human. There's a person in there, right? And you're trying to navigate what's going on. Did you have like a reset that you used to do?
I used to just really try to narrow it down to, it was, for me, it was having my feet set, being where I need to be in my crease, push, stop, set, and then be patient off the stick. And so whatever happens, goal, anything, if I could just narrow it down to those three things and not think about that I've been struggling, not think about that they scored 3 minutes in. Now it's 2-1. Fans are going nuts. Like, not just the more, now easier said than done sometimes, but just the more I could just narrow it down to those couple little things that I knew I had to do and then let it come to me.
Okay. Well, elsewhere around the Stanley Cup playoffs, we've got quite the goalie situation happening in Boston right now. It's been well documented, but we do have a tweet saying that tonight is going to be Jeremy Swayman, and this is no surprise. We talked about it at length yesterday about this. It has been the Bruins system all season long. Why change it now, even though you're coming off a loss in Game 2 against the Maple Leafs? So do we, this is so rare, but do you think that this works?
Little Johnny Cash coming in, too.
There you go. They're locked in. Do you think that this works for Boston? Like, do you like this approach? Or are you still
I think it's the only team that can do it.
Yeah.
I think it's the only team that can pull it off. And because they've consistently been pulling it off. A lot went in. A lot of talk last year when they didn't do it. So I think this is something that Montgomery is going to, I think when they make this decision, they've got to, I'm sure they've committed to this for at least 5 games, because Swayman's going to go. I think no matter what happens tonight, I think they will continue it. They'll go back to Allmark next game, and then Swayman's back in Game 5 anyway. But if you get to Game 5 and it's a 3-2 series and Swayman's won 3 and Allmark's lost 2, and now listen, Allmark played unbelievable last game. It had nothing to do with him, but that's when maybe the decisions start to change. But if you can execute this and go, get past the first, second round, the deeper you go in playoffs and continue to rotate these guys, it's going to be a huge benefit for them because they're going to be more rested than anybody else. And the playoffs get long; they get grind, and these guys are used to it. This is their rotation. When I played, I was used to playing every other day. I had my routine, especially in playoffs. You play the game, you come in the next day, you recover, you do what you need to do. I wouldn't skate in between, and then the next day was pregame skate, and I knew I was playing that game, and that was what I was used to. That was my routine. These guys are used to this.
Yeah.
This is their routine. This is their routine, playing once every 4 days, knowing what they need to do in between to be ready. They know when their next game's coming, regardless of what happens. So they've done it all year, and they've done it extremely well. So
you said they're used to it, and not to look ahead because it's about winning, and that's their objectives, to win tonight, right? 1 game at a time. This is what they're used to doing.
Yeah.
But if it does, as these playoffs go along, one's clearly playing better than the other, and they got to go. Now, all of a sudden, they're not used to that.
Right.
So it's like everything that we talked to now, like not every team can do this because they don't have the goalie caliber that Boston has. Like there's 2 really good, two number ones, right?
Yeah.
But also, not everybody can do it because that's not what they're used to doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but the norm isn't what they're used to doing. You understand what I'm saying? Like at some point, if they pick one, it's going to be uncomfortable, abnormal for them. Do you think, or is that much easier to adjust to as a goalie?
I mean, I think,
like if it's like, hey, it's going to be Sway for this series until we see otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll be fine because you get especially later in the playoffs, and you get, like I said, they're going to be more fresh than any other goalie if they've only played 6 games and other guys have played 12 or whatever. So I don't know. It's a unique situation that I only think Boston is the only one that can pull off, and like I said, they have for a long time. So we said when it was 2-2 last game, I said, what happens if they lose? And Allmark's, I'm just watching him make 10 Beller after 10 Beller, and I'm like,
he was phenomenal.
Yeah, what happens if they lose? He's standing on his head.
Yeah.
You know Montgomery's going to get asked about it, and sure enough, he did. But I don't know. It's a interesting thing to watch, and certainly makes a talking point for all of us.